Hey everybody. So, gosh, there's so much to say. All right, so I'm back. I took a little bit of time for myself during some transition that I was experiencing and going through. Um, some of you already know what that is, and some of you do not. So here's the deal. I love to be authentic, and I definitely prefer to be translucent, especially because of my true direction in life. Okay, so I from childhood, made this pact with God that I would help people, guide me, help me with that, and strengthen me. With that said, I have been thrown a lot of challenges, okay? And we all have. We all have different hurdles, different challenges, different parts of life that surface when we least expect it. And the good news is we're being prepared and we are being strengthened for a reason. The bad news is it's not hard. It's very difficult and very challenging. And I know this. I know this. Um, and so for me, I think it's important to bring light to those difficulties, not just because it's common and everybody experiences it, but because we don't talk about it. We don't know how to cope with it. We don't know how to ask for help. We don't know what to do. And so, time and time again, we get faced with these challenges and these difficulties, and time again, we think we're going to die. We think we're being punished. We think that we deserve what's happening. And we're left with unanswered questions, right? And so this happens. This is part of evolving. This is part of growing. And I want to put a lot of emphasis on the fact that nobody is exempt from this. Nobody is going to have this perfect life without challenges that is being molded and evolved for something greater, okay? A lot of people do have these cushy little perfect lives from the beginning, absolutely, and they don't have the same challenges, okay? That's absolutely a thing. However, more than not, people don't discuss these hardships, they don't make them public, and we don't know that they experience them, okay? So, mine, to pick on me, I recently announced how excited I was about my pregnancy and how this large gap of time had passed between my 21-year-old son and, this new pregnancy. And, my husband and I were super thrilled and excited to share our news. And last week, um, we found out the heart had stopped beating. And, the doctor assured us that it was a common thing. It happens in 50% of pregnancies, which is crazy. And because I publicly announced that I was pregnant, I also had to publicly announce that it was no longer, so that I wouldn't have to deal with the constant, how's the pregnancy? When are you don't look pregnant. I didn't want to face that time and time again. So I had to be brave and I had to let everybody know that I was no longer pregnant. And I had never experienced something like this before, but I had heard tidbits of it happening. I never heard about the details, and I definitely didn't know how common this was. So immediately my brain went to, what's the lesson here? What just happened? Am I being punished? What did I do wrong? What could have I done better? And the realization that I was I was being molded, okay? And so rather than going straight to the let's get over this, it was like, you got to lean in, all right? And I've said that many times. Don't run from the turmoil, the feeling, but look into it. Kind of assess, the damage so that you can move on and never have to deal with it again. Because if you try to jump ahead and you try to, skip levels and then just end up at the end, you're not going to be strong enough to fight the boss fight. You're gonna lose, when you get all these points that you didn't earn. and then you're faced with the challenge that you could have been developed had you done it the right way. You're not. So um me always looking at the fact that I don't do a lot of this work for myself. I feel like when I went through certain things and I did keep it to myself, my pride, my ego was in the forefront and definitely not allowing me to share. I wanted to put on this image of perfection and no problems and success. So when I was challenged, I didn't share it. I thought it was embarrassing. I thought I'd be judged. And so it became a trauma. It became suppressed. It became something that was eating me alive, right? And so now that I get how it all works and, I deal with things on my own, I'm like, we need to talk about this. We need to discuss it and we need to be better about healing. The word sounds silly and nobody wants to say, oh yeah, I gotta go heal real quick, I'll be back. We don't want to say that. We don't even want to talk about it. But if we don't, it's like all these broken people are running around in the world hurting each other. Hurt people hurt people. So if you were able to help someone through something that was gonna hurt you later in life, you totally would, right? And that's our kids, our family, like people we work with, people that we see at the grocery store that we give a dirty look to because they remind us of something, and then that person had a horrible day and they're like thinking in their minds that it was personal to them and we hate them and they must look ridiculous and we're judging. And it's like, no, none of that is accurate. But because we don't heal our shit, because we don't deal with it when it happens, it carries on, for lifetime sometimes, just to be perfectly honest. So I took a look within and I said, all right, let's do this. What do I got to learn here? And the majority that came up for me was, especially because people were private messaging me that I had never ever known. I people that are so close to me were sharing with me that they had experienced the same thing. And I was blown away that I didn't know this. And then the more people shared with me their experience and how they dealt with it and how they felt, I was like, wow, we're silently struggling with something that a lot of us face, and so many people don't move forward in a positive way after it happens, sometimes multiple times. And okay, so there's that. And there's also the part where people don't know what to say. There's death, there's miscarriage, there's divorce, there's so many things that people do not know how to use kind words. People will think about themselves when they answer, and they will say things like, well, at least, whatever, this stuff I heard. I don't even want to go there. It was actually kind of bad. But yeah, I got a lot of, well, the good news is, and I was, no, this is horrible. There's no good news here. Don't say that. And it broke my heart a little bit, but I'm like, they don't know better. I'm not going to take it personally. They experience something, they believe that, that's on them, right? But what I did learn as of this point, because I'm still struggling, this morning was better than yesterday. Yesterday I woke up with such horrible nightmares and just, again, blaming myself for what happened. And so I didn't want to get up out of bed. I did not. I'm like, fuck this day. I'm hurting and I need to just not have anything upset me today, is what my thought process was. And then I remembered, like, oh no, you're alive. You are breathing. You are in, a wonderful home, bed. You have a great life. Like, you're really going to cheat all these amazing things out just to feel sorry for yourself? And I'm like, shit. Because I have worked with so many women that have dealt with breakups, issues with, kids or no kids, or just different things, right? And so they take it out on the people that love them and everybody around them, all the time, something happens with one child and now they can't cope and they are not there for the rest of the kids. So many people come to me and say, when my dad left my mom, I lost my mom too. When my, grandparents passed, the whole family stopped getting together. When, and it's a ripple effect, man. And so I'm like, I gotta show up. I have got to be present for myself and for everybody that I'm in contact with. And I gotta bring it. It's not just about me. It is not just about me and my pain and my pity party and my sadness. It's about everybody that is struggling with their own shit and they need a glimpse of hope so that they can feel like, you know what? Shit happens. I got to get through it, right? And so today, oh my gosh, I woke up and I just felt like this warmth and this like bright light that was like blinding me. And I was like warm and fuzzy and like, what the fuck? And I just felt this protection and this like closeness, and I was like, oh my God, it's my little spirit. It's here now. Everyone says that when someone goes, they still feel them and they still feel connected, and I did not feel that at all up until now. A couple of days ago, I did have this moment where I was sharing some dark thoughts with my husband about this whole thing, and we're both going up and down with how we feel about it. And I was pretty much like, where's my lesson here? I can't move forward without my lesson. And he's like, it's not about a lesson. This happened. We got to deal with it. We're sad, yes, but this is not about a lesson. And stop punishing yourself. So I close my eyes and I'm like, God, just show me what I need to know. Show me so I can understand. I need some more information here. And I just saw this little frog and the eyes were like in my eyes, and I could just see this little frog. And I opened my eyes and I'm like, I just saw a frog. What does a frog mean? He's like, what? A frog? And we were driving. And so I Google, what's a frog's significance? Because I believe that when we ask for messages, we get them. When we want answers, when we stop trying to steer the ship and run the show and, get it our way, we get our answers. All we got to do is say, give me something, and everything's exposed. So this little frog, I looked up the significance, and it said fertility, abundance, and healing. And it said, it will present itself when you're healing something. It also means growth. It also means fertile, like absorption and learning. And I was like, oh my God, I totally had to hear that. I had to hear that I was growing from this. I had to learn that other things were being healed because of this. I had to understand the bigger picture. And of course, I know we have transition, we have challenges. They're always difficult depending on the level that we're at, right? The higher up in, the spiritual realm that you are, the harder the hits. And even when you're in a lower vibration, they're meant to elevate you. So it'll feel horrific, but it's your coping level, right? Your capacity to get through it. And it'll feel every single time. It doesn't matter if you're down here, if you're in the middle, or if you're at the top. It's going to feel just as bad every time and just as difficult. So I wanted to shine some light on those things, okay? So everybody that's reaching out to me and sending me these amazing messages, thank you so much. It's getting me through for sure. It's me pulling me out of me and recognizing that we need to have this discussion more. We need to be more compassionate. And we definitely are all miracles to be here. For the longest time, I would say, God, why did you abort me? Why did you let my mom, give me away for adoption? Or how could this be happening to me? And now I realize what an idiot I was. And oh my gosh, I was totally supposed to be on this earth. I was totally to experience all the difficulties, all the lessons. Every difficult time that I faced was for a reason. And even if it hurt so bad at the time and I didn't understand it, it has been a tool for me to help others. It has definitely helped me help others. So it was never about me. Everything I got through was not about me. And it's still not. Um, it's not. So I just wanted to share that stuff, that I deal with stuff too. And I do my best to be vulnerable and authentic about it so that we can all grow together. It's not just about me getting through and moving on like everything's great. It's about us knowing that we're all human and we're all going to have things that set us back, and we get through it because we're strong, and we all are. We are all capable of getting through whatever challenge we're facing. Whatever that looks like for me, whatever that looks like for you, I just want to put a lot of emphasis on that. So I hope this helps. I hope you have a wonderful day.